Well, it was a good, hard-fought win. Murray State is very, very competitive. We knew when we put up a 4 in the fourth that, they probably wouldn't blink an eye, and they didn't. They kept battling back. It wasn't an easy victory. We pitched out some problems today. We got ourselves into some problems. The bullpen did. I thought Barnett was solid. Gave us what he had, kind of cramped up there at the end, and probably left him in there for one hitter too long. Probably should have taken him out. He wanted to stay in there. It was the fifth inning, 6-1, 2 outs. You think you could try to squeeze another out, but at the end of the day, it was a good team win, and it was the first game of a hopefully a long tournament. So hard fought win. Very hot out there today. I think our guys dealt with that a little bit. I thought the outfield communication was really, really good. A little breezy, a lot of noise. I thought we handled all that pretty well. I know that's kind of a coach talk a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was a good win for us, and certainly we can learn from it.
We'll open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Dean and Roman, can you guys talk a little bit about the defense today? I mean, that really shut this team down. I mean, Murray State's been able to take advantage of people making mistakes defensively and misplaying some balls. You guys were really solid defensively today.
Yeah, I just say we take a lot of pride in our defense. That's something that we know is never going to go away, going game to game. And yeah, we knew it was going to be tough, and defense is really a separator, especially in these big games. So yeah, just sticking to what we've been doing.
Yeah, I agree with Roman. Coach always talks about good championship teams has good defense, and that's something we really take a lot of pride in.
Hi, I had a question for Dean. I was just wondering, just kind of off the bat, it seemed, Meek McCaffrey, Daily Bruin, but it seems like you were seeing the ball really well and being really patient at the plate, going 2 for 4 with a walk, especially early on. How are you able to maintain your composure so immediately, especially on, one of the biggest stages in college baseball?
I think it's just a lot of trust in myself, and then the approach that our coach gives us in the beginning of the game, and kind of just sticking to it and just believing in it.
Any more questions for the student athletes?
Brady Altman's LA Times. AJ, this one's for you, since you haven't had a chance to talk yet. You guys kind of hopped on him, got a really good beat in there early, but then it seemed like the last couple times around in the batting order just couldn't find the same success at the plate. What was different in those plate approaches and that their pitchers were doing to kind of keep you off guard in the last couple innings?
Honestly think that our hitters did a pretty decent job the rest of the game. I think we hit a lot of balls hard. With the wind, I think it kind of killed a few, and we just hit the ball right at people, I think.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. Roman, what kind of challenge is it when you have a pitcher like Shuddy, their starter, where you know that he's gonna pitch deep in the game regardless, you're not gonna knock him out? Is that more of a challenge just because you know you're just gonna have to hit him at some point and you're not gonna just get him out of the game?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely a challenge, especially at these levels. Those pitchers have a lot of success, and we know that. I think really just sticking to our plan and trying to outlast guys, keeping it pitch to pitch. That's always huge when you're facing a guy like that. But yeah, I'd say just outlasting him, having 1 through 9, giving him a tough at bat is really the only way.
John Wright, Murray Ledger Times. This is for Dean. Your catch in the inning, or that catch on the dive, was one of the biggest plays in this ball game. Tell me how it developed.
What was the situation? Was it runners on first and second, 2 outs? I think that's what it was. And then I knew because of the pitch calm, he was going to throw a changeup, and that was probably going to be like the only opportunity I would ever get to catch the ball. So I made sure I went out and go get it.
Coach, it felt like you said it was a big team effort, but it also felt like your number 9 hitter in all phases of the game was electric tonight. Phoenix call, the 2 plays early on defensively, the sack bunt, going first to third right in the face of the left fielder in the 4th inning, sparking things, before that. Can you just talk a little bit about Phoenix's impact overall and how he's such a spark plug for the whole team today?
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix is a phenomenal athlete. He's a high school shortstop. I mean, he can play center field with anybody probably in the tournament. He's a phenomenal athlete. So you can see him move. We've seen him move as the season goes along here. He's getting more confident. He's getting more familiar with the position. He's never played second in his life. He played short his whole career, young career, in center field because he can really move and run. You really, he's not your typical second baseman, I guess, in some ways, but, he's a dynamic player, and we have him in the 9-hole, and he's almost like a leadoff guy, in many ways. And and he can swing the bat. He had a really good Cape Cod last summer. He really grew up last year at YD, and that's really carried over into this season. And all his errors, most of his errors really were early in the year. And then he's been phenomenal, really, from about early April on. But he can run, he can bunt, he sprays the ball all over the ballpark. He does have a little power at times. So he's coming into his own. He's still a very young player, but he's a elite player.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, you mentioned in your opening statement, you phrased it as you pitched out of plenty of problems today. Barnett, 4 walks and 4.1 was the most this season, but I was very impressed in the pitching staff in general being able to pitch out of so many jams today. Yeah. And then you look at the Super Regional as well. The final 16 innings of that series, 0 runs. Can you just talk about the strength of this pitching staff lately?
Well, we finally got to know ourselves probably about middle of April. And, we're not going to blow anybody away, clearly. You can tell that. Hawk can do that a little bit. A couple of relievers can do that. But we got to pitch. And it was a little unusual for Mike to walk 4 guys. I mean, that's very unusual for Mike. I think the first 5 hitters were 3-2 counts. I mean, it was like, oh, boy, 28 pitches in the first inning. And, it isn't quite like Mike. But, they all have a little niche. They all know what they can do. I have a good feel for him in terms of pitch calling. It's a blend. It's a change. It's a breaking ball. It's a slider. It's a cutter. It's a fastball. It's just not one go-to pitch. And a lot of these guys are, somewhat starters that are relievers, and some guys are 3 and 4 pitch guys. And even if it's 1 inning, some guys are throwing 4 pitches, which is a little unusual nowadays. Usually you see 2 pitches, right, out of a reliever. And so we do have some guys that really have starter profiles, but not big stuff. That's why we can get into trouble a little bit because they can get hit, and that's O'Connor got in trouble, Moss got in trouble. Souza got in trouble. Really, the only one that didn't get in trouble was Hawk. So it's baseball. It's Omaha. You expect trouble. If you're not expecting trouble, you'll be out of here pretty quick. So you better be able to pitch with traffic and pitch out of problems. That's the nature of championship baseball.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. Coach, historically in your time at UCLA, you've really liked to have roles on the pitching staff. This one's been a little bit different for you. Is that, would you say, more based on the personnel or more based on an evolution for you and the way you think about it?
Yeah, we have roles. We have roles. We have a long guy. We have a left on left. We have a 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning. It just a lot of times our starters aren't going 6 innings. We're not getting that quality start that we normally do. We would take 4 innings out of our starter. We have that much confidence. Our bullpen, our pitching staff is kind of built from the back to the front. And it's not a UCLA true model, but at the same time, DeVecchio went down, so he went here. Moss had a back. I mean, we do have some traditional starters, but for one reason or another, Barnett's won. I mean, he could have won his 13th game today. So, I mean, he's had a phenomenal year, but, is he a true Friday guy? I think there would be, certainly some conversation on that. But at the end of the day, they're winning pitchers. And they know how to make pitches. I mean, even the guys that pitch out some problems made some massive pitches today. 3-1 slider, 3-2 slider, 3-1 change, 3-2 change, 3-2 inner half. I mean, if you really look at the game and look at some things, we didn't pitch poorly, but we didn't pitch, I wouldn't call it good, but we pitched well enough.
Hi, Mika McCaffrey, Daily Bruin. I was just wondering if you could give any insight into kind of what the starting pitching might look like later in the week, given that both Moss and May threw today.
Yeah, it's a tournament, so you don't label your rotation in a tournament. You kind of like look at matchups and you look at video and then you determine what happened the day before. And so, we still certainly have Stump available. Stump is ready to go. But, we'll have to see and look at it tonight and make a decision more likely. We got to see who wins tonight's game too. So, it's tournament time. It's you go day by day.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Coach, first and third, Rock comes up, safety squeeze. I think that took a lot of people by surprise. Was that a planned effort there, or was that just like situational time to do it?
No, I said on ESPN, fans, do not harpoon me. Please, please, please. That was on his own. That was not us. I'm like, come on, Rock. What are we doing here? But you know what? It's a baseball play. And he did that in the Big Ten tournament. If you saw that play in the Big Ten tournament, he pushed with the first and third and got a double out of it. He pushed it a little harder, and this clearly wasn't hard enough. But, led to 4 runs, kind of the difference in the game. So, and, how can you blame a guy for playing baseball? And but it was not, let's be clear, it was not called from the bench.
Any more questions for Coach?
Mitch Light from The Athletic. Will you watch the game tonight as a staff, or have you guys scouted both teams? Are you done with that?
We've scouted them, both teams, sent a lot of synergy. But it's nice to get a feel for what they're doing in the ballpark, right? Ballpark plays different. So you got one eye on synergy, and you're writing the report up, and you got one eye on the live game. But, for the most part, it's several hundred pitches per hitter, and you're really digging deep rather than. But you do kind of like to see what's going on, in Omaha.
Hi, Juliet Eckler, Mav Radio, Down FM. You have a really young lineup. A lot of people would see that as a disadvantage. How do you see that as an advantage?
Got good young players. I mean, it's a we just got to keep them. We got to hold on to them. Got to keep on retaining them. I mean, they're very good players. They've come into it. We wore it last year. Clearly did. We did not win many games last year. I didn't think we were going to win as few as we did, but at the end of the day, it's paid off. We played a lot of guys that probably weren't quite ready. And Dean West did not play very much last year. He was hurt. Dean played the last weekend of the year, and I think he got on base 11 times against Stanford. I mean, that guy has one of the best hand-eye coordinations in the country, best zone disciplines in the country. I mean, phenomenal player. He didn't play very much last year because of injury. Vi played a lot. Rock played a lot. Roman played quite a bit. Phoenix played a little bit. Cash played quite a bit. So we're kind of getting the payoff now, clearly. So. And I don't like to say that we're young. I mean, I said this in the press conference a couple of days ago. A lot of these guys have played over 100 Division I games, 115 Division I games. So you can't play the young card too much. I think that's a mistake. Good young players and that are coming into their own. You can talk about that, but. You see a lot of sophomores. I'm sure you guys saw that little thing that went out. We have 37 kind of homegrown players from that we recruited. So right now it's a pretty good formula. Last year it wasn't a great formula. So it evolves, and anything good takes time.
Take one more question.
John Wright, Murray Ledger and Times. I believe I looked at y'all's record. I think y'all are undefeated in the postseason right now. How much confidence does that give y'all coming here to Omaha?
Well, I don't want to talk about it. I don't really want to talk about it. That's what the postseason. That's why there's a lot of teams up here that haven't lost, that are still up here. So it's it's one game in a four team bracket. So where do you want to be? Do you want to be here? Yeah, you want to win the first game, no question about it. But we got a long ways to go. But playing good baseball. I thought the Big Ten tournament really kind of kick-started it. We played well against Northwestern after Friday. We won the league, co-champs with Oregon. came here, I thought we played really well. We didn't play well against Nebraska. We learned from that, and we haven't lost since. So, we just got to keep going one day at a time.
That'll conclude our press conference.
you.
Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference